Number 7. Tucson, Arizona. The Arizona desert city where dry heat still costs a fortune to escape. Tucson summer bills average around $500 to $700. The temperatures routinely exceed 110. Monsoon season adds humidity, which makes it worse. Your AC is your life support system. Tucson has increasing electricity rates year over year. Arizona Public Service keeps raising prices. Your bill goes up even if your usage stays the same. Tucson is cheaper than Phoenix, but not by much. And the heat is just as bad. You're still spending half a year indoors avoiding death by temperature. Tucson is where cigarros survive better than your budget. Number 6. San Diego, California. Wait, San Diego? Yes, because perfect weather is expensive. San Diego's summer bills can hit $500 to $800 depending on location and utility provider. The inland areas get hot. The coastal areas have perfect weather but pay premium rates. San Diego has California electricity prices, which are among the highest in the nation. SDG and E charges insane rates. Your kilowatt-hour costs are double or triple Texas. The irony is San Diego has great weather, but if you're inland in places like El Cajon or Santee, you're getting desert heat with California electric prices. Brutal combination. San Diego is where perfect weather costs imperfectly. Number 5. Riverside, California. The inland empire city where you pay California electric prices for desert temperatures. Riverside summer bills average $500 to $800 easily. The temperatures hit 100 to 115 regularly. You're in the desert. But paying coastal California electricity rates, Riverside has the worst combination on this list. Extreme heat, California electricity prices, and urban sprawl that amplifies the heat island effect. Your AC never stops and your wallet never recovers. The reason people live in Riverside is because LA and Orange County are too expensive. But when you factor in electric costs, you're not saving as much as you think. Riverside is where affordable California meets unaffordable electricity. Number 4. Dallas, Texas. The Texas city where everything's bigger, including your summer electric bill. Dallas summer bills average $500 to $700 for typical homes. The heat is oppressive. June through September, you're looking at 95 to 105 every single day. Your AC runs continuously. Dallas has Texas grid unreliability. When demand peaks, the grid struggles. Prices spike. Outages happen. You're sweating both from heat and from stress about your bill. Dallas is a sprawling car-dependent city which amplifies the urban heat island effect. More pavement means more heat, which means more AC, which means more money. Dallas is where Texas-sized heat means Texas-sized bills. Number 3. Houston, Texas. The humid hellscape where your AC fights a losing battle against swamp conditions. Houston summer bills hit $600 to $800 for typical homes. The combination of extreme heat and oppressive humidity means your AC is working overtime. It's not just cooling, it's dehumidifying constantly. Houston has terrible electricity infrastructure and parts. When storms hit, outages last days. In August, that's life-threatening. So you pay premium prices for unreliable service. Houston is cheap to live in by some metrics. Until summer hits and you're dropping $2,400 over for months just to not die in your own home. Houston is where humidity and electric bills are both crushing. Number 2. Miami, Florida. The Florida city where paradise comes with a tropical electric bill. Miami summer electric bills average $600 to $900 for typical homes. The heat is year-round. Your AC never gets a break. Even winter months require cooling. Miami has Florida electricity rates plus hurricane infrastructure costs. Your bills are high and unpredictable. Rate increases are frequent, and you're paying for grid repairs from storms you might not have experienced. Miami is expensive in every possible way. Housing, insurance, and now utilities. The beach lifestyle costs more than most people realize. Miami is where tropical living means tropical level utility costs. Number 1. Phoenix, Arizona. At number 1, the absolute king of bankrupting electric bills, Phoenix. Phoenix summer electric bills average $600 to $1,000 or more for typical homes. Let me repeat that. $1,000 per month, just for electricity. just to keep your house at a temperature where you don't cook. Phoenix regularly sees temperatures above 115. The city had multiple days at 119 in 2023. At those temperatures, AC isn't discretionary. It's survival equipment. Your AC runs full blast for 4 to 5 months straight. Phoenix electricity rates have been climbing steadily. Arizona Public Service keeps raising prices. Your bill goes up every year even if you use the same amount of power. Phoenix marketed itself as affordable retirement paradise. Cheap housing, great weather, except the great weather is 6 months of dangerous heat. And the electric bills more than offset any housing savings. Retirees on fixed incomes are suffering the most. They budgeted to $100 a month for utilities. They're paying $800 to $1,000. Their Social Security doesn't cover it. They're choosing between AC and medication. Young families are struggling too. They moved for cheap housing. Now they're trapped paying Phoenix prices for housing that skyrocketed plus utility bills that are crushing them. And it's getting worse. Climate projections show Phoenix will have longer and hotter summers. Your bills will only climb. At some point, Phoenix becomes economically unviable for normal people. Phoenix is where the American dream melts in the desert heat. So what does all this mean? First, operating costs matter as much as housing costs. A cheap house in a hot city can be more expensive to live in than an expensive house in a moderate climate. Factor in utilities when making housing decisions. Second, climate change is making this worse. Summers are hotter and longer. Electric bills are climbing. This trend will continue. What's barely affordable now will be unaffordable in 10 years. Third, electricity infrastructure in these states is struggling. Grid reliability is declining. Rates are increasing. You're paying more for less reliable service. Fourth, this affects fixed-income people most. Retirees who move to these cities for cheap living are getting crushed. Their income doesn't keep pace with utility cost increases. And fifth, some of these cities will become unlivable for normal people. When your electric bill is $800 to $1,000 per month for 4 months, that's $30 to $100 to $4,000 just for summer cooling. Most people can't afford that. So there you have it. 14 southern cities where electric bills are bankrupting homeowners. This isn't about hating hot weather or the Sun Belt. This is about being honest that extreme heat has extreme costs. And those costs are rising faster than incomes. For people already living in these cities, you're stuck unless you can afford to move. Budget realistically for summer utilities. Consider solar if possible, except that summer is expensive. For people considering moving to these cities, do the math on total living costs. That cheap Phoenix house isn't cheap when you add $4,000 per summer in electric bills. Factor utilities into your housing decision. For all of us, this is a warning about climate change impacts. As temperatures rise, living in hot climates becomes more expensive. Eventually, prohibitively expensive. The Sun Belt migration made sense when electricity was cheap and summers were manageable. Neither is true anymore, and the trajectory is getting worse. So here's my question for you. Would you move to a hot city knowing your summer electric bills could hit $800 to $1,000 per month? What's your breaking point where heat costs override housing savings? Let me know in the comments. Because this is reshaping American migration patterns and we need to talk about it honestly. And if you found this eye-opening and slightly terrifying, maybe subscribe. We cover housing markets, climate reality, and the hidden costs nobody tells you about. Someone has to talk about the Sun Belt utility crisis. Might as well be me. You know what's absolutely wild? People are moving to Sun Belt cities in droves for affordable living and then getting hit with $900 electric bills per month just to keep their house at a temperature where they don't literally die. I'm not exaggerating. We're talking about cities where the high temperature in July is 110 degrees, where your AC runs 24 hours a day for 4 straight months, where your summer electric bill is higher than most people's rent in the Midwest. And here's the kicker. Real estate agents and YouTube influencers keep pushing these cities as affordable alternatives to expensive coastal markets. Cheaper housing, lower taxes, great weather, except they conveniently forget to mention that great weather means surface of the sun. Temperatures in your electric bill from June through September will cost you $2,400. That's a car payment. That's a vacation. That's the savings from your lower housing costs completely evaporating into thin air. Hot, expensive air. So today we're going through 14 southern cities where electric bills are genuinely bankrupting homeowners. Because someone needs to talk about the hidden cost of Sunbelt living that nobody mentions until you get your first summer utility bill and cry. Let's get into it. Here's why this matters and why it's getting dramatically worse. Climate change is making summers hotter and longer. The Sunbelt used to have 3 brutal months. Now it's more like 5 or 6. And the temperatures aren't just hot. They're record-breaking dangerous hot. Multiple days over 115 in places that used to peak at 108. Meanwhile, electricity rates in these states have been climbing. Texas grid issues. Aging infrastructure everywhere. Utility companies passing costs to customers. Your kilowatt-hour rate goes up 10, 15, 20% per year in some markets. Put those together and you get a cost crisis. Homeowners who budget $100 a month for electricity are paying $600, $700, $800 in summer. Retirees on fixed incomes choosing between AC and groceries. Families running their AC at 80 degrees and still sweating because they can't afford cooler. The cities on this list have the worst combination of extreme heat and high electricity costs. Some have unreliable grids that make it worse. Some have rate structures that punish high usage. All of them have homeowners who are genuinely struggling to afford to keep their homes livable in summer. And here's what's crazy. People are still moving to these places, convinced that lower housing costs make up for it. They don't do the math on utilities until they're locked into a mortgage and getting destroyed by summer bills. Real estate rarely accounts for operating costs. A house in Phoenix might be cheaper than Seattle, but when you factor in AC costs, water costs, and the fact that you can't go outside 6 months a year, the Phoenix house is more expensive to live in. This isn't about hating hot weather cities. This is about being honest that extreme heat has extreme costs. And those costs are only going up. Number 14, San Antonio, Texas, starting with the city where the Alamo happened, and now your electric bill is also under siege. San Antonio's summer electric bills average around $350 to $450 for a typical home. That's mid-tier terrible. Summer temperatures regularly hit the high 90s to low hundreds. The AC runs constantly May through September. San Antonio has that Texas thing where the state doesn't regulate electricity well. So you're at the mercy of retail providers and market rates. When demand spikes, so do your bills. Unpredictably. The downside is San Antonio is only getting hotter. The urban heat island effect is real. And your bills will keep climbing. Budget for $100 a month minimum for summer electricity and you might be okay. San Antonio is where the heat is dry but your bank account isn't. Number 13, Jacksonville, Florida. The Florida city where the humidity makes the heat feel even more oppressive. And your AC works even harder. Jacksonville's summer electric bills run around $300 to $450 for average homes. The combination of heat and humidity means your AC never gets a break. It's running full blast trying to dehumidify while cooling. Florida electricity rates have been climbing. Hurricanes damage infrastructure. Utility companies pass repair costs to customers. Your rates go up even when nothing happened to your house. The problem with Jacksonville is you're paying Florida electric prices. Without being in the nice parts of Florida, you're getting the cost of Miami without the beaches. Just heat, humidity, and expensive electricity. Jacksonville is where swamp climate meets swamp bills. Number 12, New Orleans, Louisiana, the city where the heat and humidity combine into a physical assault on your AC unit. New Orleans summer electric bills hit $350 to $500 easily. The combination of extreme heat, 100% humidity, and old housing stock that leaks air means your AC is working overtime. New Orleans has terrible electricity infrastructure. Outages are common. The grid is aging. And when your power goes out in New Orleans in August, you have about 4 hours before your house becomes uninhabitable. The upside is New Orleans is an incredible city. The downside is you're paying premium prices to not die of heat stroke in a city that's also sinking and flooding. Living the dream. New Orleans is where jazz and heat stroke happen simultaneously. Number 11, Tampa, Florida, the Florida Gulf Coast city where beach living comes with beach-level electric bills. Tampa summer bills average around $400 to $500 for typical homes. The heat index regularly exceeds 105. Your AC runs from April through October. That's 7 months of pain. Florida's electricity rates keep climbing, and Tampa is no exception. Hurricane risk means infrastructure costs are high. Those costs get passed to you. Every year, rates go up. Tampa is expensive to live in generally. Now add crushing electric bills to already high housing costs and insurance nightmares. The beach access better be worth it. Tampa is where Gulf breezes don't lower your electric bill. Number 10. Orlando, Florida, the theme park city where the only thing more expensive than Disney tickets is keeping your house cool. Orlando's summer electric bills run for $100 to $550 for average homes. The heat is oppressive. The humidity is worse. Your AC is basically running continuously May through October. Orlando has terrible urban sprawl which amplifies the heat island effect. More concrete and asphalt means higher temperatures, which means more AC, which means higher bills. It's a heat spiral. The problem is Orlando's entire economy is tourism and service jobs. Most people working there can't afford $400 monthly electric bills, but they're stuck with them anyway. Orlando is where Mickey Mouse heat meets utility company greed. Number 9. Las Vegas, Nevada, the desert city where what happens in Vegas is your bank account getting drained by electric bills. Vegas summer bills average around $400 to $600 for typical homes. The temperatures regularly exceed 110. At those temperatures, AC isn't optional. It's survival equipment. Vegas has the desert heat problem where the sun just bakes everything. Your roof absorbs heat all day. Your house stays hot all night. The AC never stops. The upside is Vegas has relatively cheap electricity rates compared to other cities on this list. The downside is you use so much electricity that cheap rates don't matter. Volume overwhelms the price advantage. Vegas is where gambling on moving their means losing to. Electric bills. Number 8. Austin, Texas, the Texas capital, where keeping it weird includes weirdly high electric bills. Austin's summer bills hit for $150 to $600 for typical homes. The Texas heat is brutal and getting worse. Multiple days above 105 are normal now. Your AC is maxed out. Austin has Texas grid problems. When the grid struggles, prices spike. During the 2021 freeze, some people got $5,000 electric bills. In summer, high demand means high prices. Austin marketed itself as affordable alternative to California. Then housing costs exploded and utility bills followed. Now you're paying California-adjacent housing prices, plus Texas levy utility costs. Worst of both worlds, Austin is where keeping it cool costs more than keeping it weird.